the Insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
It's Saturday night, and that means it's time for another episode of the weekly wrap-up show from the Insiders. Welcome, everyone. It is July 3rd. It is July 4th Eve, or Fireworks Eve, or Explosions Eve, as ever you want to say it, because there's plenty of them happening outside my window. And again, I apologized earlier. If you hear them, it's the time of the season. There's not much I can do about it. And unfortunately, I'm situated by my air conditioner, which is very close to the window. So anyway, if you hear booms, nothing I can do. So I hope you're having a great weekend so far. I hope you're out enjoying it. You know, Jeff, it's been a year since all the crap is behind us. COVID is kind of getting behind us now. And it's kind of cool, though, that families are able to go out and kind of enjoy this kind of stuff with each other. And, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are looking forward to the 4th of July tomorrow.
Yeah, man, because finally we get to be around others again. And my goodness, man, good grief. It's been a challenging time, but yeah, thank God that it looks like we're, you know, over that hump. I can assure you, Chris, I am not toasty right now. I can assure you, I'm just exhausted. I had my kids earlier, and I have been running around all day long. So
that'll do it.
Not toasty, just kind of burnt right now. So
that'll do it. Plus, Jeff and I were getting into some horror on Netflix last night. If you didn't see it already, if you're a fan of period piece horror stuff, check it out. It's Fear Street, which started on Netflix yesterday. I was psyched to see it. I know Jeff was. He texted me and said I watched it. I watched it right after Smackdown, and oh my gosh, it was literally the 2 hours or the whatever it was, hour and 47 minutes or something went like that, like in a snap. It was over. But it's fantastic. If you are a period piece horror film lover, my goodness, it was a combination of like several different movies, and you could tell where the inspirations came from. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Can't wait for the second part. Yeah. All right. So we have got a jam-packed show as usual. There's tons of stuff going on in the wrestling world. We say it every single week, and it always happens time after time after time. So we'll get into some introductions. We'll say hello to some people, and we will get started. We have, similar format of the show, and you're going to hear some grievances about a very strange topic that I never thought I would end up having grievances about. But yes, so I know there are some people, Sean, looking forward to that segment. So yeah, all right, let's get started here. Hello. Well, first of all, before we start, if you are new to our channel, please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate that. We're getting closer and closer to 1750, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. We really, really appreciate that. For those of you that have been with us from the start and are with us every week, first of all, thank you. And secondly, if you know anyone who may enjoy the content, please share the video with them. Let them know what we do, and maybe try to invite them over to check us out. And also, obviously, hit the like on the video before you head out tonight. We'd really, really appreciate that. And hit the notification button if you would like to know when we are going to have content. And there is going to be new content coming, because the closer the fans get to coming back, that is when we're going to start doing Raw and Smackdown. So it's going to be exciting, exciting, exciting. Everybody's on and on about the ratings on Smackdown being down. Listen, it's 4th of July weekend. It was down last year too. It's down for that reason, and I also think it's down because of the no fans. And once fans come back, I think you're going to see ratings, not just from WWE, but everywhere, I think, will shoot and skyrocket again. And that's when we'll get back into, a lot of people being psyched up. And I think that's where you're going to start to see things really motor ahead with the wrestling world. All right. Melinda Ford, welcome. Hello. Good evening. Happy July 3rd. Jen Carter's here. What's going on? We have Sean. There's Sean. What's up, family, said Sean. Sean's a little hot about the same grievance topic I am, too, and with good reason. The Coog is here saying hello. Hello to you. Kevin Correa, what's up? Cheese Whiz is here. What's going on? Azan is here. What's up, man? Big Dan, what's going on, Big Dan? How are you? Jody Gilly, hey Jody, what's going on with you? Hope you are well. Hope you're enjoying the holiday weekend. We have Randy Sam. We have Butterspark. Hello. We have there is Conrad in the chat. Welcome, Conrad. Hello to you. There's Hayden Garrett. Hello, Hayden. We have, who else am I missing? Sean Rousset is here. There's Chris with the toasty comment that you saw a little bit ago. We've got Harry. Hello, Harry. I don't recognize the name, so if you're new, welcome to the show. Let's see. We've got Maj is here. How are you? Hope you're well. Shelby Jones says, I'm here. We have, who else? We have Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809. How are you? We've got, I think I pretty much got everybody. So welcome, everyone. Jody said, I'd enjoy the weekend a lot more if I didn't have to work that night shift. Oh, yeah, that would suck. Oh, yeah. Night shift on a 4th of July holiday can't be fun in your profession, especially with all the injuries that could come of things and fireworks and all that. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, that wouldn't be great. Wally's here. Hello, Wally. How are you? I am the Harry that is regular in the streams. Okay. All right. I just don't, excuse me for not, like I said, I don't remember the name, seeing your name very much or seeing the name Harry, but cool, dude. Welcome. I'm glad you can make it. All right. So welcome everyone. Again, we are the Insiders and there is C Wrestling. Hello, C. How are you? Hey, big soccer news over in that part of the world. Big win again by the England team. So I know you guys must be all fired up about, well, you call it football. So yes, I know a lot of you are fired up about that. So congratulations. That's awesome news. Awesome news. Mini King 22. Hello to you. All right. Before we get into it, our schedule that we've got coming up. So obviously Abby's Window returned last week. It will be back on Monday, so that will be our next show. Then we move on to Impact. And it was great of Joe to wear the mask at the start of the stream. Thank you, C. Yes, thank you so much. Listen, save that stuff for Jesse at the end, all right? Save the stuff for Jesse, okay? But yes, and then, of course, on Thursday we have Impact Wrestling. Which is getting closer and closer to Slammiversary. We're getting good stuff there every week. And then we will be right back here, of course, next Saturday as well. Hot Tag will be coming back soon. I've seen pictures of Brandy. She is on the mend, so that's good news. And then we've got pay-per-views happening very soon. We're going to have Money in the Bank coming up very soon, and then we have Slammiversary also coming up very soon as well. So big stuff on the way. Danielson is here. Happy 4th, brothers. Lots to talk about. Yes, Alicia. Hello, Alicia. Happy 4th of July all the way from the UK. We just mentioned, you guys must be celebrating over there if you're football fans. I was watching part of the game, and I'm not a big football watcher. Oh, I know. Andrew Stevens, what's up? Danielson says, Selena call up. Yeah, we're going to get into that. All right. Let's start it out, shall we? And Jeff, unfortunately, we have to start off on a sad note. Man, it's almost like I said, it's almost a weekly thing. And we get some sad news about a wrestler. And this gentleman, unfortunately, was pretty young. It's never a good thing when anyone passes away, but when someone who is a bit younger, you really kind of feel for them because you figure, geez, have their whole life ahead of them and things like that. So 59 years old. Dale, of course, Wilkes, the Patriot. I remember him mostly from WWE. I know he'd been in other promotions. He was in Japan, but I remember him from the stuff he did in WWE. He was a former football player. I believe it was at South Carolina.
He sure was.
Okay.
That's right.
So unfortunately, he had passed away. I believe the cause was a heart attack. So obviously our thoughts, our prayers are out to Dale Wilkes' family and friends tonight. So again, just take a little moment and, wish them the best. So memories of Dale Wilkes for you, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I remember a lot of the stuff that he did in WWE /WWF, AWA, back in the day. Honestly, my memories from him are a little bit different. Growing up in the state of South Carolina, and he was I know. He was such a great player at South Carolina and a legend there. So, so it's kind of twofold with me. So it's tough, but hopefully, we got to send out well wishes to his family and everyone that knew him. Wow. I mean, just again, it seems like we have lost a lot of wrestlers and people in the business over the last year or so. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but hopefully he did not suffer, and just wishing the best for his family.
Absolutely. The Kook says great feud with Bret Hart. Yep, passed away right before 4th of July. Weird how things work out, isn't it? WCW Stars and Stripes Patriot and Marcus Bagwell. Mm-hmm. So see, memories out there, and look, anyone in anyone's family, if you are remembered, and you really never go away, right? If you're remembered by anyone that is still alive on the planet, then you are really never gone. You're alive in someone's memory. So, and we will all, obviously, as wrestling fans, remember him. So, yes, like we said, thoughts and prayers go out to his family and his friends. Tazzy says, shh, it's an insider's party, baby. We're in the middle of a game. Just stopping by.
Tazzy, we won't talk about last night, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, man. Great stuff. Thanks, Tazzy, for dropping in. Yes, don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. Shh. Reminds me of Elmer Fudd. Shh. I'm hunting rabbits. Steve Taker Walker, happy Independence Day weekend. Yes, 10 to you too. There's Sonny. Hey, what's going on, Sonny? How are you? Rated R Wrestling. He's got the whole world in his hand. Let's see if anyone else stopped in. Breaking news. Jeff. Oh, God. Jeff.
Yeah.
He will permit. I don't know what that's all about, and I don't think I want to.
I'll be honest. I don't want to know what it's about. And
I would let that one go. Just let it go. Great American Bash coming. Yes, I saw earlier in the chat that Cross and Gargano was made official. Yeah, wondering whether or not Karrion Kross might be dropping that belt. We'll see. We shall see. Did I get a haircut? No. The facial hair is gone. I'm trying to look younger, so I don't know if that works. Probably not, but my wife yells at me because she says it does. So, all right. So check out his All Japan works. This is on White. Chris says I don't remember him, unfortunately. Yeah, that's all right. You go check it out on YouTube, dude. We lost a lot of legends wrestlers. Celebrate this year. Yes. All right. So I believe next is we've got some breaking news. It is time for the breaking news section of our show. And I guess, and look, the biggest breaking news we have, and the newest breaking news anyway, is one of the ones that the dirt sheets had an epic fail with, and that would be one Zelina Vega showing up at SmackDown last night. Wow. Talk about egg on the face of the dirt sheets on this one. They all pretty much had her going with her husband and being on AEW. Well, not so fast. She showed up for the Money in the Bank. She got put right into Money in the Bank, actually, yesterday by Sonya Deville, and then had a match with Liv Morgan. But Zelina is back. And, man, that promo she cut, Jeff, with Sonya, Zelina is fire on the microphone. Absolute fire. Absolute fire. And I'll tell you, I hope – now, listen, I get she's going to be in Money in the Bank. But, again, remember, guys, Money in the Bank could be a lot of repositioning and getting ready for what's going to happen at SummerSlam and beyond. I really kind of hope they move her to Raw, because Raw can really use her, especially with her on the microphone part of it and not just the wrestler as well. But it looks as if we're getting a different Zelina, and it's not just going to be valet Zelina. She's going to be involved in the wrestling this time. So glad to have her back. And you never know, but maybe her husband may not be far behind either. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, Jeff, I guess this is case in point of how dirt sheets can be very, 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 very wrong.
Yeah, I mean, where are your sources now? That's all I gotta say.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it was great to see her back. I love the fact that she's going to wrestle.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she was a great valet. She's a great, manager, whatever you want to say. But she's a great wrestler. And I really enjoyed the match that she had last night with Liv. I really did. Dude. And yes. I mean, goodness gracious. Yeah. And C brought it up. Did you see her tweets about?
I did. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. I retweeted it. Yep.
Great. I mean, it's great. So, I mean, again, it all comes down to you really don't know until you see these people show up wherever they show up. And, I mean, nice little bit of egg on the face of some of these folks. So,
absolutely. Always fun to see them eat a little crow. Yes, this one was definitely, and I got to back that up, Jeff, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more, but dude, and I know C will agree with me, and I know other people agree, what they are doing with Liv, bravo, man.
Yeah.
Bravo, bravo. Finally, I love the story. I love how she, of course, is not getting respect. She's beating people that are getting in this match after, time after time after time, and yet still not being put in the match. I love it, because what are we doing? We're getting behind her now. Now you're involved in that story, and you're like, why is she not in this match? She's beating everybody in it. Why is she still not in this match? I love it. Absolutely love what they're doing, and I can't wait now. Look, Liv has always been one of my favorites, but I'm invested. And I can't wait to see what they do next with her and keep this going, because this is brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff.
It's great, man.
Absolutely. All right. So that is our headline. And yeah, well, why not segue right in? I love segues. Why not segue right into SmackDown anyway? Jeff, the one thing I'm going to say about this, and I thought this was a pretty awesome thing to think, right? SmackDown was tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous. And no Roman Reigns.
Right.
No, let that sink in for just a little bit. No Roman Reigns on that show. You had little inklings of him, right? So it was almost like his spirit was there, because you had the little scenes with Paul Heyman, right? Yep. And you had the little scenes with Jimmy, and then you had the scene with, so he was being talked about, but he wasn't there. Like, how great is that? How good is a wrestler doing when you can have him not even be on the show, and that storyline of his that he's involved in is still taking precedence. That doesn't happen very often, guys. But, man, SmackDown is killing it. Absolutely killing it. And, you know, what a SmackDown last night. It was fantastic all the way through. I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed all the matches. The storylines were tremendous. Oh, and you know what? Kudos, Jeff, to Pat McAfee.
Oh,
Dude, when Boogs comes out, McAfee is going bananas on that bench. And he's like, oh, my God, Cole, get into it. He's screaming it. Oh, dude, he is so good. So good. And, man, like, you know, see, this is the kind of juice that Raw needs. This is what Raw needs to get some of. And, oh, man, just tremendous. And I love Boogs, by the way. Dude. Oh, yeah. I said last night on Twitter, Boogs is single-handedly bringing heavy metal back. Oh, my gosh. It is so good, dude. SmackDown was amazing, and I think a lot of you guys will agree. But, man, what a show last night was, and everything we got from Zelina to, like we talked about, Liv, you know, C just mentioned that, what she's doing, an underdog storyline. No Roman, but you got Jimmy. You got you got a fantastic promo from Edge, which was tremendous. You got Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in, you know, a match that you would only see on a pay-per-view. And these guys ripped it up. I mean, Owens basically destroyed him at the end of that. Put him through 2 different tables and then off the ring apron. I mean, you know, just amazing, amazing matches. What a great show, Jeff.
I mean, just to go to what you said about Sammy and KO. I've made jokes a lot about, you know, their history and how we've never seen Kevin Steen and El Generico in the same place at the same time. These guys have had so many matches, and it's the rare case of I still want to see more.
Yeah.
Because what they do in the ring or, you know, in a program together is just absolutely incredible. And they keep finding ways to step up, you know, just to continue to tell a different story. And you have to be special to be able to do something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, my goodness, kudos to them. SmackDown was great last night. Honestly, I got to give a shout out to all of WWE's programming this week. And, you know, you might hear that, hint, hint, wink, wink. You might hear that later on in the show because say what you will, Raw has improved tremendously. NXT, fire, always bringing it. And SmackDown, bringing it. So, I mean, if you're looking for the upward swing of momentum heading into when fans return, you're starting to see it. And it's a beautiful thing. So,
absolutely. Alex says, "Can we get applause for Baron Corbin, dude? Even Baron Corbin, what they're doing with him? They finally found a storyline to put him in. I mean, he's just like down and out dude who everything's going wrong. They towed his truck away. You know, he's all. So you wonder, you know, he's going to be a guy that's going to eventually hit rock bottom. And then what's he, you know, is he going to snap? Like, what's going to happen? You saw Boogs I thought he was going to flatten Boogs. I really thought he was going to flatten him. And he just kind of said, you know, whatever, dude, like, and just walked away. Yeah. So even this, like, you're getting people to feel for Baron Corbin. Who would have thought that? Like, nobody cared about Baron Corbin. Everybody hated oh my God, everybody hated the King thing. They couldn't stand him. And the mask is coming to Bill Mike. It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. Stay tuned for the grievances section. It's coming. Anyway, I wasn't about to wear it because I don't want to embarrass myself or the people who made it. But yes, it's coming. It's coming. Sammy versus Owens. Joe and Jeff classic match, says Alex. Where's the other member of the bloodline? Jey Uso. Good question, Jason. Could be part of the story. No one really knows. He hasn't been around. So some people say maybe he might be getting a little bit of a break. Some people saying maybe there's a little kind of, bruises and bumps. There might be a little injury. No one really knows. They're keeping it quiet. And again, kudos to them too, because they've got dirt sheets guessing now. Dirt sheets aren't coming out and say, I know why Jey Uso's not around. And the same thing with another subject that we're going to talk about a little bit later as well, because there's another person, and that's coming up right now, actually, is let's play a little Where's, not Waldo, but we'll play Where's Randy. Where is Randy Orton? And I love the milk crate. Randy's on a milk crate. No one knows where he is. He didn't show up for Raw. Right? We got that really weird letter that everybody kind of figured that Riddle wrote. Don't be so quick on that one either. Don't be so quick on that one either. Just saying, there may be a little bit more to the story than meets the eye. But, Randy's been gone. Dirt sheets again, they're scrambling. Everybody's asking them, because this is what happens. When people don't know something, they go right to these guys and say, hey, where is he? Where is he? And when they have no clue, they have no answer. And they're going to say, well, we're not really sure. And then people start to kind of lose faith a little bit. Like, well, wait a minute. Aren't you the guys that are supposed to know this stuff? And then they're like, yeah, but we don't. But yeah, Randy is missing. Some people said he was late for a plane. Some people are saying it's an injury. Some people are saying it's that break he was supposed to get after WrestleMania. The thing is, no one knows. So it's out there. We don't know where Randy is, and we could all kind of assume things and make up things, but it could all be also part of certain stories that's going on here. So whether that's going to be with, him and Riddle, and is he stewing now because Riddle lost and didn't get him into the match, and we could be seeing a little bit of a split coming between those guys. Or it could be something else entirely. But see, this is the kind of stuff that keeps everybody coming back for more and tuning in to see what's going on, Jeff.
Wrinkles in stories, right? We asked, could they do something different? Give us something a little bit different.
Yep.
And we're getting that something different with this. And yes, I had a little bit of fun at Randy's expense. So, So yeah,
where's Randy?
But yeah, and Wally saying I'm right here instead of where's Wally? Where's Waldo? Well, he's in the chat. So
he's in the chat. Yes, I'm here. Hey.
But you said all of that was great. I got to bring this up because he's currently a Raw superstar. Did you see the new photo, the recent photo of one Mr. Bray Wyatt?
The recent picture that someone took of him, that he has the beard growing back. I did.
Yes.
I did.
And I know for a fact we're going to talk about this on Monday. But, I kind of think that maybe we get one cult leader, Bray, coming back. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but what do you think about that, Joe?
People assumed right away that when he said in the Funhouse that remember the word he that he used, is coming. Mm-hmm. Maybe he didn't mean the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Right. Interesting. Listen, hey, I'm all in. Cult Leader Bray was my favorite, and he was the reason. Literally, when he was gone, he's the reason I stopped watching Raw, and really got away from wrestling for a time, because I loved that character so much. The psychology behind it, the creepiness of it, I loved it. And him and the Wyatt family, of course, loved it all. And so I will always go back. Now, obviously, I will miss the Fiend, but listen, I don't think he's gone for good. Even if he does come back, we saw this with Mick Foley, Jeff. He would have characters go away for a little while, let people kind of forget. Listen, there was all this crap going on anyway where people were sick of it. Oh, I'm sick of him and Randy. I'm sick of the Fiend. I'm sick of him losing, blah, blah, blah. So what's the best way to get rid of that and get that out of people's minds? Take him away for a little bit. Take him away for a little bit, because you know what? You know that old saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Well, when he's gone, just when you least expect it, then all of a sudden bring him back at some point down the road. So this happened a lot with Foley, and I wouldn't doubt it at all if that is indeed going to happen. So, but I'm all for it, Jeff. And yeah, it did certainly look like he was getting a little bit of that long beard going again there.
As a fellow beard person, I fully support the beard. I gotta ask you this too. We didn't talk about this for SmackDown, and I didn't even include it in our topics. But just briefly, did you see all the stuff that got put out there supposedly about Roman and all of the all of the backstage politics and everything?
I saw comments in the chat earlier. I did not. I didn't see it. When did it come out? Today?
No, it's been a couple of days now, but essentially one of the former writers who was just recently let go basically said that there are a ton of plans, and they kind of detail some of those plans. And basically Roman has vetoed everything. He was supposed to have a program with the Fiend where he would drop the title back to the Fiend. There was supposed to be a longer program with Bayley and Sasha. That he was like, I don't want them to get more screen time because I don't feel like that would be beneficial to my character. So then, there were a lot of things going on with that. So when you get a chance, because I kind of threw this on you because I saw it in the chat, but when you get a chance, just look at it on Twitter. Jody put out a post about it. So go check out Jody's Twitter, and see that. But the person wrote like a very long post about everything that had happened and what the plans were for the Fiend and all of these different things. So go check it out. I want to give us a chance to really digest it before I don't want to be like the dirt sheets and bring stuff up and and all that, but I want us to have a really good chance to talk about it. And honestly, I think it'd be a really good topic for next week for Sell or No Sell.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, let's. Big Dan said he's being compared to WCW Hogan. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Is that bad?
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah. Fair enough. I'll definitely check out the post for sure. Wow. Jeez. Well, that's really interesting, man. Really interesting. Gonna make me hate him even more. Oh. Just when I was starting to like it. Just when I was starting to enjoy him. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's go to what's next. Bea Priestley joins NXT UK. Man, another show that I don't get to watch nearly enough because of when it's on during the day. Jeff, I'm going to let you start this because you're probably going to know a lot more about Bea than I do. Again, I didn't get to watch a lot of NXT UK, but how big of a signing is this for them?
Huge. There were some issues around the time where all of the stuff came out. About a year ago, with all of the wrestling. Kind of the dirty underbelly of some of the things that had happened. But she's talented. I think she was on AEW for maybe a couple episodes of Dynamite, but she's super talented. This is a huge signing for them. Immediate star power, in my opinion, which, they have a ton of already. Joe, honestly, I know you don't get a chance to watch it. It would be worth an hour to go back at some point during the week and watch NXT UK. Is that good? And honestly, when people talk about their favorite wrestling shows of the week, NXT UK is never mentioned, and I feel like it's that forgotten show that a lot of people don't shout out, but it's so good. And she's honestly going to bring a lot to that division. I'm excited to see what she does. I think she's going by Blair Davenport in NXT UK. But and Azan brings up a good point. I don't know if Will Ospreay will leave New Japan, but hey, stranger things have happened, and they are together. So I don't know. And if that happens, can you imagine him and Walter? I mean, you're talking about a guy that just got injured, who was the New Japan. He was IWGP champ. Can you imagine him and Walter in a program? I'd sign up for that immediately. Like I'd be on that immediately. So yeah. I think it's a huge signing, Joe. I think it's gonna pay dividends for them for sure.
Awesome. Well, obviously, I mean, they had to replace Piper, I would guess, since she's now come up to the main roster from NXT UK. So, if what you're saying is true, and I have no reason to doubt it, it's going to be a very interesting signing for them. And I'm going to have to check out some of NXT UK because I just don't get enough time to see it. But now that there's some things coming to an end, coming into the summer that I usually watch, maybe I'll be able to go back and just check it out. But I've heard great things. I know Tazzy does a stream of it as well when he can. So don't forget. And I'll give Tazzy a quick plug too, because he's got obviously Bash at the Great American Bash coming up next week that he's going to be doing. So yes, so Tazzy will be back. So don't forget to join him for NXT next week. All right. What have we got next?
Wedding bells.
Yes.
Wedding bells.
Someone asked in the chat if we thought that maybe Seth's promo was taped. It could have been. Very possible because, yes, he was obviously in Hawaii. And Seth, congratulations, of course, to Seth and Becky Lynch, the power couple, as they are called, of the WWE. So, yes, obviously, congratulations to both of them. We all know that they had a baby, and now they have officially been married. And, yes, Seth he's been in Hawaii. Obviously, both of them are probably there, so it could certainly have been taped. When you do a backstage segment like that, they might have made plans to do that at the very start and tape that segment. So, absolutely. But congrats to them. Great to see it. And listen, always great to know that that families are getting started, and that these are two of the biggest names in wrestling right now, especially in the WWE. So congrats to them, obviously, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, huge congrats to them. They are the power couple of the WWE. Honestly, I'm so glad, so happy for them.
Yep.
And wow, it's just great. They've had a great year, and I'll say this. I don't think we're far from Becky returning.
Yeah, I agree.
I think once they get past the honeymoon and all of that, I could see her returning real soon.
Yeah.
I just I think this is great, and I feel like we had to throw in, Joe, this news because our next topic. I guess we just need to go to it, right? I mean, since the cat's out of the bag, I guess we just need to go to it.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I feel like we need to preempt it with.
And that's about all you can say when we come to this one.
Oh, dear God.
And that, and then it really makes you start to think, how far off were the dirt sheets with this one? Because you wonder, everybody's saying Cena's coming back, everybody's saying Rock's coming back, but then you got to start to wonder, are all of these superstars being let go to pay Mr. Goldberg? Ugh. And I said to Jeff, for what Bobby Lashley is doing with that title, if this guy waltzes in to SummerSlam and takes that title from Bobby Lashley, oh dear Lord. Man, I really hope that the powers that be would see them a huge mistake that would be, and the huge spot and stain that would put on what Bobby is doing right now.
Yeah.
Horrible. But you know that if Bobby walks out with that belt and he beats Kofi and he walks away with that title, which there's a good chance he may, then, and you know that if this is his SummerSlam match, which, would make a lot of sense, that he would come back as a face, because that's what he does, because he wants to be that superhero, as he always talks about, comes back to say that I want to take on Lashley at SummerSlam. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Dear Lord, why, says Butterspark. Please retire. Yes. I mean, what are we going to see? Are we going to see another debacle where, you're going to see him spear Bobby 3 times and the match is over in a minute? Is that really what we're going to see? God, I hope not. I hope. Now, listen, to be fair, he put Drew over. So to be fair, he put Drew over. So let's hope that if he does this, that he's going to do the same thing with Bobby, and he puts Bobby over as well. Let's hope that's where he's at. So I'm always afraid, though, Jeff. Because I know how I've gone off on stuff with this dude, and I don't want to have to do it again, because it really makes for a very, very bad mood for Joe. It really does.
I'm gonna try to be the one that saves us from the doom and gloom. And because honestly, when I first saw this, I don't want to say what I said. This isn't a non-PG stream, so I won't say what I said. But what I'll say is this. I don't want to say I think. I hope after the match that he had with Drew, which was a pretty good match.
It was.
I think he's at a point in his career where he's singling out the guys that he feels are the next in line, like the next big names that need that rub in wrestling terms. And as good as Bobby has been, and maybe people disagree with me or whatever, and that's fine, but as good as Bobby has been, beating Drew as many times as he has doesn't really give you that win for him that's like, you know what, yeah, I can rock with him as a champion. I rock with him as a champion, but do the masses still feel that way? Or would it mean more for a fan who isn't as on board with Bobby? Would it mean more to see him destroy Goldberg in like 5 minutes? Would that then elevate him in your eyes? Because I still feel like somehow, some way, some people still feel like, oh, well, yeah, Bobby's a champion, but he's a placeholder. I don't think that at all. I don't think that at all about Bobby. So maybe this type of win will elevate that. So then once we get to a Survivor Series or something like that, maybe, just maybe, we get a Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar matchup. And if he wins this and that's his next opponent, that matchup looks a heck of a lot better going into a match with Brock, because it's like, okay, I took down the icon, I took down the legend, Goldberg. What do you got? And I think that could be really good. So I'm trying to keep my fingers crossed that something like that will happen.
I'd be okay with that. And look at that picture on the face. Doesn't that just make you want to punch him? Doesn't that look at that smile? You just want to just punch him in the face. But anyway, here's what I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing if these two do wrestle, and it is at SummerSlam, be a perfect scenario for Brock to come back. Because Brock comes down, Brock flattens Goldberg. Just flattens Goldberg, because we saw that pass thing. We saw Goldberg come down and take out Brock. So Brock's on a bender, and he comes in and he just flattens Goldberg and then flattens Lashley, and nobody wins because of interference or whatever. Nobody loses. The title stays where it is, and then you lead into a Brock versus Lashley program. I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely all that. That would be perfectly fine with me. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Rusty Shackelford is here. Welcome, Rusty. Hello. How are you doing? Hope you are well. But yeah, let's just hope it all goes well. Speaking of something that did not go well, we had two pretty bad injuries this week in women's divisions, and Martinez, of course, Mercedes Martinez and Rebel. Rebels was ugly. Just ugly. And I know our own Jody commented on it because obviously Jody is in the medical profession, and saying how just looked like it was butchered the way that they handled her. I can't speak to having a dislocated kneecap. I believe that's what she was diagnosed with. But I have heard several of you have said to me how painful that indeed is. And, first of all, let's hope that they'll both be back very soon. But Jeff, two big losses here for two different companies, and it's unfortunate whenever we see this happen, especially with women's divisions, with AEW's kind of, being on the rise, and obviously with NXT, because their women's division is always considered to be one of the top women's divisions there. She said, I feel so bad. She must have been in so much pain with it. Yeah, like I said, I can't tell you what that feels like. I've never had that. But I know there have been people that said that is an awfully painful injury. So, Jeff, I don't know if you ever went through that in your career. You did. Well, there you go. Jeff will speak to it.
Honestly, okay, I'll go to Mercedes first because I want to spend a little bit of time on the Rebel one. That kind of stuff unfortunately happens in wrestling. You're gonna have some kicks or punches that slip through that are a little bit more stiff than they should be, and it's gonna happen. I saw like up close and very personal. I saw in a tag team match where everything was worked out, and an elbow caught someone right here to the face and broke the orbital bone, and it happens. Like it happens. Now I want to get to AEW and their mishandling of another injury. But gotta say this. I'm going to give them credit. Their shows have been good, if not great. However, if you have someone with a leg injury, the first thing that you do is you immobilize it. You put something around it, like an air cast or something, or at the very minimum, you get a stretcher out there and you put them on that stretcher and wheel them back. That's what you do. You do not. I mean, it's not like she sprained an ankle or, tweaked the knee or whatever. It was a nasty injury.
Yep.
And the fact that they kind of like, okay, well, let's get you up here. I think I'd sent this to See Wrestling. I went to a high school in which our coaches were our athletic trainers. And I got better training and attention than that at a high school. And it's common sense, honestly. It's like, okay, if you got a bum knee, you don't ask the person to walk out on the bum knee, or to hop along, or to have people eventually carry you out. That's not that. No. No. So, it comes down to, I really hope that there's no significant damage to her knee.
Yep.
Because honestly, by the way that they mishandled her, it could have done more damage than what was initially done. So it's just like, AEW, I love you, but clean up your medical training services, because my God, it looked incompetent. Like, it really did look incompetent. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Yeah, listen, let's just, like Jeff said, let's just hope that it's nothing. Because listen, a knee injury like that, a serious one to a leg, a knee, an ankle, any of that can be a wrestler's career.
Oh,
that
yeah,
literally can be a wrestler's career. We all know the story. Those of you that watch Impact with Rich Swann and the disaster that he had to work himself back from, he thought his career was over. So yeah, let's just all hope that they will be able to get back and she will be able to recover from that knee injury. So, all right, what is next in the news?
No, this is not the 1980s or 90s.
I was just gonna say, are we going back to 90?
Well, I was gonna say, like, if you had told me that this was Shaquille O'Neal versus the Chicago Bulls, and Paul White was the center instead of Will Perdue or Bill Cartwright, that's the matchup I want to see in the battle of these big men. These guys in a wrestling ring, yeah, that's where we are right now. So,
oh my God, the match we never knew we never wanted. Oh boy, look, this was supposed to happen, and I guess it probably was easy to see it coming. We know that Paul White said he wanted to wrestle again.
Yeah.
And of course, listen, we all know that Shaq's all well and good on the NBA shows and stuff like that, but we never really saw that Shaq is alive after his last appearance in AEW. He just disappeared. So we didn't know what was going on. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to have him appear in a puff of smoke when he comes back and just show up there? This has disaster written all over it. All over it. I mean, when Shaq was in the ring the last time, he was carried by Cody Rhodes, and the women that were in that match became the spotlight after he got pushed out of the ring. So, I mean, in a singles match with these two guys, who neither one of them, let's face it, are in any sort of the greatest shape of their lives right now. And I don't mean to be rude, because both of them could kill me. There's no question about that. So respect where it's due. I'm not going to piss off two huge dudes. Shaq was an amazing basketball player in his day, was unstoppable on the court. And, of course, Big Show, we all know what that man has accomplished in his wrestling career. But they are nowhere near where they were at that point in time. So if this happens, oh boy. And if this is going to be part of a pay-per-view that they're going to make you pay $75 to watch, wow. Jeff.
I'll say this. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't. And listen, it's all in how you book it.
Right.
Like, it's all in how you book it. If people are saying, "Oh yeah, let these two guys put on like a 20-minute classic,"
obviously,
okay, that if you're that person, we need to have a serious conversation, because no. But if done properly, this could be pretty interesting. I mean, I really do think it could be an interesting matchup. I really like what Shaq did in the match with Cody. Like I really enjoyed that. He's an athletic guy. Big Show, he's been around the block and back, so I wouldn't mind seeing it. It's just all in how it's booked. Like if they try to pull this off as, this is going to be some of the epic, whatever, like don't oversell it. That's the main thing I want to say. If you're AEW, you've gotten yourselves into trouble before with kind of over hyping something, and when it comes through, it's great. But when you say it's the biggest thing ever, or it's going to change the landscape of professional wrestling, you have to deliver on those types of promises. So I would just caution AEW, don't overhype this. And if you do that, you just make this like two colossal dudes, just kind of, just going up against each other. Cool, I'm good with it, but just don't overhype this. Make it like a 5-minute deal and call it a day. And my goodness, Rusty, if Rodzilla comes out, then here's the thing: if Rodzilla comes out, then the mailman isn't far behind. And I'll leave it there.
Oh my God. We're gonna have an old timers match.
Yeah, you know what it's gonna be. It's gonna end up being Paul White and Dennis Rodman versus Shaq and the mailman Karl Malone.
I want to volunteer to referee that match. Being that I'm the old man of our stream, can they use an old man referee? Because I'll do it. I'll go and referee that. Yes, I will. Yeah. I will referee that match. She's saying this is AEW. Remember, which one does the suicide dive? Paul White or Shaq? Oh God! Oh God! Let's hope neither, because that may be the last we might see them in a wrestling ring. Conrad says, "Don't become Dixie Carter." Where's Karl Malone when you need him? I hear fireworks in my new. Yes, there's plenty of fireworks right outside my window. My poor dog is a mess. But oh man, yeah. I mean, look, poking fun and all and stuff like that. Yes, of course it's going to matter how they go about booking the match for sure. You can't just do this all willy-nilly without any thought behind it. You have to have some sort of storyline to get people interested in this. And look, if it ends up coming out a certain way, maybe, I don't know, inject even a little bit of humor into it or something like that, because that's kind of what people may be thinking anyway. But yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. It could be, like I said, all kidding aside, it could end up being a fun storyline to see. So we'll see. We'll see if it ends up getting there. Speaking of someone, another personality from WWE. Now, this is interesting to me because this is a recent person who has been let go by WWE. So obviously not talent, was a producer there, but maybe that whole 90-day thing or whatever that is, that non-compete thing might be gone away. And there were rumors to that effect that they might not be holding people accountable to that anymore. And obviously, Sanjay was a producer for WWE, and now he has gone to AEW. So he is joining some others that have gone to that side from WWE. I mean, man, we're starting to compile quite the list of people that have been former WWE employees that are now over in AEW. So, and you know what? They're getting a lot of these guys that are kind of going to be working backstage. So, I don't know. I mean, they need it, I think. I think they need some more voices backstage besides the ones they started with. And we all kind of talked about that, saying who's running that show. Is it Kenny? Is it Chris? Is it the Bucks? Is it, who's really running that show? Or is it Tony Khan? But, maybe bringing in Sanjay as a producer will, maybe it'll give them a little more structure. And I think sometimes when you watch AEW shows, I think that's kind of what they need.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and I think from what I read, He's going to be producing a lot of the women's matches, which is great. Honestly, Sanjay, his talent in the ring was great, and obviously, I feel like his mind for the business is great. So this is a huge pickup. I feel for AEW. I mean, they've had a few, but I feel like Sanjay and Mark Henry are two people that will change the culture for the better.
Yeah.
That they'll continue to, to build and make things better. So I'm cool with this. I think this is good. And let's see what happens. I think we'll see some dividends being paid from him being there. So I'm all for it. All for it, Joe.
Resigned, James Grant. Yes, I apologize.
Yeah,
Sorry, it wasn't like, he resigned. Producers don't have the clauses. Okay, well, that makes sense. But yes, he did resign from WWE. I think it was one of those things where it may have been a situation where he resigned because they may have been planning to let him go. Things like that every now and then happen. So Sanjay should have a last run in Impact. Yes, he was in Impact for quite a while.
Yes.
And thank you, Azan. Speaking of which, we're going to talk a little Impact to end our news for the week. As you guys know, we have an Impact watch along every single Thursday. So cheap plug, of course, there. If you don't watch Impact, it's a great point to jump on it. Come and check out our stream on Thursday night if you have nothing else to do on Thursdays. And Thursday happens to be one of those days where there isn't a whole lot going on in the world of wrestling, which we don't get that very often. So if you are not watching, now is a great time to jump on. It's getting close to Slammiversary, and we're getting a lot of crazy things happening on Impact Wrestling, one of which was the main event we saw with Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers going up against Moose and Chris Sabin and Sami Callihan. Of course, we already know Sammy's facing Kenny at Slammiversary for that Impact title. This turned into a mass of chaos. Moose just decided he wasn't going to do anything. He didn't care. And, so basically it was up to Sammy and Chris Sabin to try to take, mostly it was Chris, to be honest, to try to take down that other team. And when that happens, they're just not going to come out on top. So Kenny and the Good Brothers walked away victorious. And Don Callis, even though fired, is still getting in his stuff. Got Mr. Tommy Dreamer in a little bit of hurt from Moose as well. So Callis still pulling his stuff over in Impact. But again, like I said, great jumping on point. There's a lot of cool stuff going on right now in there. Women's division, you've got Rosemary and Havoc teaming up now. You might have something big, and Jeff is looking forward to it, happening with one Susan this coming week as well. The signs are there, so we all know what that means. And so if you don't come out on Thursdays, give it a shot. If you haven't watched, maybe you used to watch TNA, you used to watch Impact back in the day, and you're like, trust us. Come out, check it out with us. You can watch it for free on Twitch if you don't have Access TV. I know not everyone does. But if you're not doing anything on a Thursday, come over. We're here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern to start. Come over and check out the stream. I think you will all enjoy it, and you will all be glad you did. Go ahead, Jeff.
Man, I know we say this on our show quite often, especially on Thursdays. But for those that don't watch it, in our opinion, Impact is the most consistent promotion out there from week to week, bar none. The stuff that they do in terms of furthering, advancing, and developing storylines, a lot of companies could benefit from doing it the way that they do it. This past week was no exception. I picked this picture right here because Big Joe just turned Rich Swann inside out when they came down and interfered in that tag match. I thought that was crazy. And you know what? You know what the most surprising thing out of all of that was, Joe?
What's that?
Willie Mack didn't take a nap.
That's true. Willie Mack didn't go to sleep.
He didn't go to sleep this week. So what I think some people probably think I hate on Willie Mack. I actually love Willie Mack. It's just fun to it's just fun to talk about, because he has gone to sleep a lot. So,
Yes.
but yeah, I honestly, Impact is great. Slammiversary, folks. I mean, if you want to get on board,
Yep,
it's the time to do it. It's the time to do it because I don't know. I get the sense that this year's Slammiversary is going to be so special, and it's going to be one of those pay-per-views at the end of the year and maybe even years to come where you're like, you remember July 17th? That was a very, very good day in professional wrestling, in particular for Impact. So,
not that far away, guys. And again, it's a great jumping on point. If you can't come out on Thursdays, definitely join us for Slammiversary. Definitely join us for Slammiversary. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a historic, every time you see Kenny there, it brings eyes to the product. Whether you like him or hate him, it's good. And we don't even know what the stipulation of that match with Sammy is even going to be. So that is going to be probably insane. Sammy wrestles in some crazy stipulation matches, and I think that's what we're going to end up getting. So come out and check out Slammiversary. I think it's going to bring some amazing surprises. I think we're going to see some people show up there that maybe people really didn't expect to show up there. And it's going to be a great time. So, yes, come out, check it out. And like I said, if you don't want to start on a Thursday with us, come out and check out Slammiversary for sure. You will not be sorry. You will not be sorry. So,
and it's going to be on the same weekend as Money in the Bank.
Yep. So two big pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Two big pay-per-views. Yeah, well, we always get that. Yeah, so we're going to have – obviously, when we do pay-per-views for them, again, in case you don't join us for Impact and stuff like that, we always – this show is usually on every Saturday unless – Impact ends up having a pay-per-view, and of course that weekend they will. So we're gonna be crazy that week with prediction shows and everything else. So yeah, just make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit the notifications because that's when you'll want to know when we're gonna be on. So, all right, I think
I'm just gonna shut up. This part of the show, I'm just gonna shut up. This is
do the intro, Jeff.
All right, here we go. Here's the intro. Here is the intro.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
I've got a lot of problems with you people. Boy, that's never been more evident than this week's show. So I was so excited. I really was. I was so excited. I even said to Jeff, you know what? I got my little notification saying I'm going to get this mask in and I'm so thrilled about this. I'm going to put this thing on. I'm going to wear this mask on the show. In fact, somebody asked earlier in our chat why I wasn't wearing it. Well, apparently, sometimes when you get something new, right? You have blinders on because you just were so excited about the thing that you really don't realize. And I'll tell you the backstory to this. So this is referring to a mask, okay? The mask that came out on April Fool's. It was the first time you ever saw like a midnight thing going on in the shop. I've been to midnight sales before for video games and stuff like that. C said, wow, I thought you were wearing it. Thank you very much. And Steve's poking the bear. Did you ever hear the saying, poke the bear? Yeah. Anyway, so ordered the mask and could not wait to get it. Sean, if you're still in the chat, Sean's going to back me up here because Sean and I are in the same boat apparently with this. Very excited. I saw it was finally going to ship. I'm like, all right, cool. This is awesome. Then I saw it was going to come. Like, I literally got a notification and then it was saying it was going to be shipped the next day. Which I was like, wow, okay, that never happens with them. Like, you never get that quickly. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing. So I go home, and this was Wednesday. Now, I normally do my other show every Wednesday night. I do my cheap plug for my 80s show every Wednesday night. So I do that. So I got home. I had to eat dinner. I got home from work. Of course, I opened the box. Now, let's start it by showing you this. Now, again, you're not going to be able to see that much from the camera, but that's the bag, right? So I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. You know, that's the front, that's the back. So, okay, that's pretty cool, right? The bags, I was kind of expecting that same Fiend bag that we've been getting with the merch that he has. So I was like, all right, that's okay. Give it an A for the bag right off the bat. And then I took the mask out of the bag. Now, again, my living room that I opened it up in, a little bit dark, that has some weird lighting and stuff like that. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at the front and I'm looking at the back and I'm like, and then, like I said, sometimes when you get something new, you have blinders on. And apparently I must have had blinders on, right? And then, I actually put the mask on and I took pictures of the mask, which, by the way, I took down because now I'm embarrassed. So I put pictures out on our Twitter, and I'm like, oh, look at this. I got the break. Until I got off my show a little later on, and I really got to look at this thing. Now, kudos to C Wrestling, because actually C made a comment about it, and he wasn't trying to be mean. But he was, he was just kind of pointing things out. So I saw it and I'm starting to look at it. And then what got me, right, is I went back and I looked at the original picture of what this was supposed to look like. So went back and, of course, they put it back up again because apparently this limited edition thing isn't so limited because they put it back on sale, I think it was a couple of days ago. So it's back on there on the thing. And so, well, it's now since gone. And I'm hoping I had something to do with that, which I doubt, but I'm hoping I did. But they had since put it back on sale, right? So I'm looking at the picture, and then I'm looking at mine. Then I'm looking at the picture, and I'm looking at mine. And the picture is all angles. So it's the front, it's the face, it's the sides, it's the back. None of those things matched. None. And they weren't even close. There's Sean. Sean says right with you. None of it matched. And this is not even close. Not even close. Like nothing is what they put a disclaimer out there, which thank you very much for doing that. That's a wonderful business practice, by the way. Let's put a little disclaimer on there saying that, and they use the word similarity. I'm going to let you guys be the judge of if you've seen, you guys are Bray fans. If you guys seen this called the Return of the Fiend picture, right? You tell me whether or not this looks anything like the mask in that picture. That picture, in case you didn't see it, had flesh-colored bits on the sides, so around his ears. It almost even looked like there was blood, like caked over the ear. And I pointed that out when I first saw it. I'm like, this is amazing. Jason Baker, whose team made that mask for Bray, even retweeted it. Now, he doesn't usually do that because he has said to us on an interview that he was on this show that they don't make WWE's masks. They make the masks for the wrestlers, but they don't have anything to do with making WWE's masks. I have no doubt that they had nothing to do with making this. Nothing. And I think what they did was I think they took the picture of Jason Baker's mask and they showed that picture. And that's why I think Jason may have tweeted it out. I don't know that for sure, but I think that's what they did. And they took all 4 shots from a mask that Jason Baker made for Bray, showed that and said, well, the mask you're getting may not be similar. All right. You tell me. Ready? Tell me if that is similar. Tell me if there's white coming down this part where the melting stuff is. Tell me if the mouth looks the same. It looks like he has rotted teeth. It looks like it's half of a cane mask up here. Then you go to the side. There is no flesh color there. There is no, this is red. The buckles, for God's sake, are red. They're supposed to be silver, right? Down here, again, supposed to be flesh color. It is all painted red. Go to the back. Red. Now, I have had to comb down all his massive mane of hair that is on him, by the way. Do you remember when Bray first came back with this look? Did he have a massive mane of hair on his head? No, because it's burned off of his head. So you don't have all this hair that I combed in the back of his mask and the back of over here. And no, this is nothing close to what on the top here. This is all red. So someone got crazy with a red spray paint can and or whatever it is they use to do this, and they painted this thing entirely red. There's the other side. Red here. There's the ear. There's no little blood patch above the ear here. That's a lighter red. This isn't flesh color. This is nothing like that picture. So thank you, Jeff. One of these things is not like the other. Remember that little game they used to play on Sesame Street and Electric Company? One of these things just isn't the same. Where in the world does this mask I'm holding in my hand look anywhere near the one that was pictured when everyone went and ordered this? Now, there are some people who got these that are happy with it. Kudos to you if you are. And if this was a mask that you walked into a Halloween costume store or a Party City and saw this on their rack, you could be happy with. Them saying that this is limited edition, which is what they said, and everybody waiting, desperately to get this. Joe's the next member of Slipknot. Yes, it does look like a Slipknot mask, Rusty, doesn't it? There is no white here. Look at, like, this is all down here on the chin, in here, all supposed to be white. All of it. Up here by the cheeks, down this strip, all of this is supposed to be white. The paint job is hideous. Now, I will say the mask isn't horrible. I mean, it's thick, it's thick plastic. Oh, here, take a look at these too. The belt buckles, right? You know what they do? Nothing. They do nothing. This is a mask that you put over your head. It's a slip-over mask. It's not like the other one that they made where you literally use the buckles to clip it to your head. These do nothing. They're for show. They open up and do literally nothing. And I'm not going to open them because it's going to let his big mane flow like a lion out of the mask. So I'm not even going to do that. So they're absolutely for nothing. They're for show. This is horrendous. And I have let WWE Shop know how I feel about this. And they have not pretty much gotten back to me. They have come back and said that he did an entire live. Yes, he did. Waiting room live stream for that mask, and then couldn't even buy thanks to no international shipping. Yeah, well, good for he lucked out there. No international shipping, so yes. But this, I've been putting this all over Twitter. This is a debacle, an absolute debacle. How can you not get right when you have a mold to make this out of, not get the paint right, not get the red, not get any of this right? And my lights, by the way, are making this look whiter than it is. If I turn the lights off here, this is not this bright. It's literally much more red than it is. So what a mess. What an absolute mess. I'm at the point where, and I buy stuff from the shop. I buy shirts. I buy this kind of stuff. I'm at the point where I will never, ever buy another mask, especially from them. Listen, I got burned twice because I was one of the unlucky ones who bought that original Fiend mask, which was also an absolute hideous mess. When I got it, it was flesh colored. And I almost was like, I opened it up. I'm like, what is this? This isn't white. It's flesh color. It's flesh colored. Maybe they ran, you know what? Maybe that was it. Maybe they ran out of the flesh colored paint from putting it on that original mask, and that's why they couldn't put any on this. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what the deal is. Maybe they only had so much flesh colored paint. But oh my God, what a mess. And basically all I got told was, and by the way, someone named Jesse spoke to me. I think Jesse is a robot. I don't even think Jesse exists. But because the same Jesse also spoke to Sean a little bit later in the day on WWE Shop customer service. So I don't even think Jesse's a real person. And then I kept saying, listen, I want an exchange. I want another one. And then they said, well, no, we don't have any more. So you can't have an exchange. And then you know what got me even more pissed? Some folks got them that actually looked better. The white is painted better on. So Sean and I got screwed, and some people out there got ones that had more white on the front. Now, how the hell does that happen? When you're making a mold of a mask and it's supposed to be all the same stuff on this mold. Listen, these are made in a factory. People aren't sitting painting them. How do you get different ones every time around? And there are people out there that are kind of happy with it. Now, the sides and the back of theirs look like mine too, but at least their face looks discernible. At least it doesn't, it looks similar to Bray's with the white and stuff like that. So how do you get that to happen? Well, I said, listen, make good on it. I want a different one. No, we can't do that. We'll just refund it. Well, that's fine. But I'm still getting screwed. I paid for something that I wanted. And the shop or whoever it is that's above them made a lousy product. They're not going to own up to it because they have a disclaimer up there saying, well, it doesn't have to be the same thing. Well, I'll tell you, buyer beware. If none of you guys had gotten this and this ends up coming back for sale, do not buy it. Do not buy it. You will be very, very disappointed. Other people, sure, somebody might say, well, I'm going to fix it. I'll paint it myself. Fantastic. But I could tell you, I've had experience painting masks like this. The paint will come off. If you ever plan on taking it outside and actually wearing it, which is what I was going to do. I was going to wear it for a Halloween party this year. It will come off if it gets wet. That paint will come off. It's plastic, and that will come off, rubber, whatever it is, plastic. That will come off of that mask. So, oh God, he wants me to put it on. Are you serious? Don't say I don't ever do things for people. All right. Don't say I don't ever do things for the chat. Hold on.
While you're doing that, I have one thing that I feel about WWE Shop.
You failed, you big dummy.
Should I do the show like this for the rest of the night? I mean, I look like I have a half of a melted cane mask running down my face. That's what I look like right now. So, but anyway, buyer beware. Don't buy this. This is horrendous. And don't waste your money because chances are, since they found out that so many people got lousy ones, they will probably end up making another one like they did with the Bray mask in like 7 months or so and fix the entire thing because this is so bad. Look at C chuckling. Well, I'm glad you all got a laugh. But yeah, look at my lovely hair. Look at my wonderful hair. How the hell is his hair brown when he got burned? He got burned alive. For God's sake, it should be black. The hair, and again in the picture, the hair is black. So how does he have dreadlocks that are gold when he was lit on fire? You tell me. Apparently, someone over in China that made it thinks that maybe burned flesh should look gold. I don't know. I'm done. I'm gonna be sad Bray now.
Maybe you can join forces with Corbin. Baron Corbin there. So, wow.
I can't even get it off now. Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? If I couldn't get it off. If it wouldn't come off my head.
Just get stuck on there.
I'm stuck in that ugly, hideous thing forever.
Oh God. Well,
watch
Joe,
Bray now wear this to make it accurate. He should. I even tagged Bray. I'm like, you know what? And listen, I know that Bray has nothing to do with this. This is merch that they make. Bray's got absolutely nothing to do with this. He gets some residuals and stuff, I'm sure. But is that Wally says I look ridiculous? Thank you very much for confirming what I already thought. Yes. Anyway.
Oh God.
There's my grievances for them. But I guess the positive is I got this really great looking bag though. Really amazing bag.
Listen, that is the nicest $200 and something bag I've ever seen in my life. Like that.
Isn't it though?
Yeah, I honestly feel this is what I think. I think that the product itself is on the bag, and they just threw that other thing in there. Just because they had to give you something, but yeah, I mean that's a nice bag. I mean, I've never paid $200 for a bag, but that's a nice bag.
You know what, Jeff? I'm going to carry my lunch in that bag every single day of the week to work. I'm going to use the hell out of that bag.
Hey, I don't blame you.
I'm gonna use the hell out of that bag. Oh my God, what a mess! A mess! What a disappointment. I mean, listen, I've had some disappointments in my life. When I was a young kid, I asked for some Christmas presents that I didn't get and stuff like that, and I lived through that kind of stuff, dude. This was literally a horrible, horrible disappointment. Horrible. Wally says everybody got a good laugh. Well, I'm glad I could provide that for you guys.
I think a lot of people got a good laugh. I don't know if everybody, because I don't think Joe is laughing at himself at this point. And Azan, yes, you're right. I don't buy Gucci anything. Listen, I'm lucky if I go to like a Marshalls or a TJ Maxx or something, dude. So there's no way in the world I'm gonna get the Gucci bag or anything. So. Joe,
that is my grievances for the week, and screw you, WWE Shop.
And again, WWE Shop, this is for you.
You failed, you big dummy.
Thank you very much.
There you go, Joe. So just so we can get past the mask there, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like somebody did a screen grab of that.
Oh, and I wouldn't doubt. Yeah.
I
know that's coming. I'm gonna live like with that, like I live with the Linda Blair memes every single week. Oh yeah, I know.
Yep.
I'm absolutely certain. Yep. It's gonna haunt me like the Linda Blair memes do for the rest of my. Yeah, I know.
Yep.
But see, this is what I do for you guys. You can never say that I don't do this kind of stuff. I provide you with all of this wonderful material that you can post up on the internet and just make fun of me. So you can never say that I don't give.
We provide a service here, folks.
Yes, we do.
We provide a service.
Sometimes even at our own expense.
Yes.
Yes.
All
right.
What do you think? It's time to ring the bell?
Let's please ring the bell, yes. Yes. Oh, let's get on with the show, shall we? Sell or no sell? Topic number 1. There was no problem with Eddie Kingston's comment. So if you haven't heard it, this was the comments made after Dynamite. And Eddie Kingston came out and kind of talked up AEW.
Oh God, it's already happened.
It's already starting. Yeah, see,
it's already happened.
Oh, there it is.
So, yeah, it's
what are you gonna hashtag it? Sad Fiend? Are you gonna hashtag it Sad Fiend or like Kane Fiend? You know what I was gonna do? You know what I was gonna do? To be honest, and we'll get right back to this. You know what I was gonna do? I was gonna come on and do a mini skit with Vince, and do the Vince voice and be like, I really don't like that burn Fiend thing. I really don't like it. I think you should make that look like a little more like Kane, because I love Kane. So I think it should be Caffeine. I think it should be Caffeine. That's what we're gonna do. You're gonna make a Caffeine mask, and that's what Bray is gonna wear going forward. And we're going to call him Caffeine instead of Fiend. I was going to go into that whole thing too. But yes, so there you go. You could do hashtag Caffeine, K-A-F-I-E-N-D. There you go. All right. So anyway, back to Eddie. Eddie caused a lot of controversy with this statement because Eddie came out and said, not only, again, he talked up his own show, talked up AEW, but he also blasted WWE and basically was saying that there's no heart in the WWE locker room. So I'll let Jeff start it. Jeff, sell or no sell, there was no problem. And the way Jeff has this worded, there was no problem with Eddie Kingston's comments.
I love it. I'm going to sell it.
Okay.
And the reason why, anybody is entitled to their own opinion and to say whatever they want to say about anything. I caution you, though, because when you do that, you could make yourself look like a huge giant. You know what? I don't understand why AEW feels the need to mention WWE so much. I get it. It's your competition, that kind of thing. But at some point, just be who you are. Do you. And that's it. Like, I don't need you taking shots at anybody. And it works both ways. I mean, it works both ways. I didn't have a problem with it because I knew that other people would have a problem with it, and they were going to blast his behind at some point. And, you know, you'll get people that say, you know, well, he's bitter. That may be because he never ended up in WWE. He tried out, but he didn't make it. You're going to have people that say that he's bitter. That's fine. Whenever you open yourself up with comments like these, you deserve the praise and you deserve the criticism. And yeah, I mean, they taking shots at other companies has been a thing forever. But at some point, you've got people at, you know, all around saying that WWE lives rent free in their heads over at AEW. Hey, it is what it is. You can take a shot. That's fine. I'm not a big fan of taking shots at other companies. It's one thing to say, man, you know, crappy product or something like that. But when you start questioning people's hearts, that's a whole different thing. But listen, it's a free country. You're a grown ass man. You say whatever the hell you want to say. Just be ready for the backlash that comes with it.
Very true. Yeah, very true. The way Jeff has this worded, I am going to agree. I'm going to sell it as well.
I love it.
And for the reasons that Jeff stated pretty much there. I will tell you that what this started, it got Bully Ray trending on Twitter because Bully came out to the defense of WWE. And ironically enough, now Bully's kind of saying, you know, they're kind of going at each other a little bit. Bully's coming out and saying, you know, I'll take you apart. You can't stand up to me in a ring. And they're kind of going back and forth. So, again, banter, yeah, people are saying that in the chat. Banter has been going back and forth like this. But, you know, look, this happened during the Monday Night Wars. It's been going on before then. It's been going on probably as long as wrestling's been going on. But, yeah, and again, it is his show. It's an AEW show. He was given a mic and he probably spoke from the heart. And for whatever reason he did it, yeah, he's gonna. But again, like Jeff said, you better be careful now because there may be some people come calling you. And if you end up going wherever, and you know, like, listen, just because these wrestlers work in different companies doesn't mean they can't know each other outside of the companies. Doesn't mean they're you know, they don't know or acquaintances with them, and they might, you know, be in the same circles. They might visit the same places every now and then. But now you got to be a little careful because, you know, the thing that, you know, any WWE guy that can come up to him and say, you're questioning my heart? Really, that's really what you're questioning? You're questioning my heart? Then the piper's going to have to be paid. So you kind of have to back it up. And, you know, so, yeah, I mean, look, Eddie's a talker, and he always has been. And Eddie cuts great promos. And what you can see from Eddie when he does it is he speaks from his heart. And If that's what he really felt, then that's what he comes out and says, And then, yes, he brought up that you have the thing with Shotzi and Jericho going on too. So there's a little bit of stuff going on between both of these places now. And listen, I don't know. Sometimes I said this when AEW first started. This is never a bad thing. Competition is a good thing for wrestling fans because it's going to bring out the best in both companies. Because eventually, now AEW may not be there yet. They have a great fan base and people who love their show, but they may not be at WWE's level yet. But if they get there, you're going to then see Vince and Hunter are going to both have to step up their games. WWE can't keep running with a lousy show. They can't keep running with Raw the way it is with a lousy-ass show. Because, listen, AEW has stuff going on Monday nights where people can just go, yeah, this sucks, click, and click over. So competition is good. It's good for fans. And I think it's going to end up being a good thing. So,
yeah.
All right. What's the next topic, man?
Man, next one. We're hitting heavy topics tonight, man. The pandemic era in wrestling benefited promotions, Joe. Sell or no sell?
Wow.
And let us know in the chat on this one.
This is tough. This is a tough one. Oh man, this could be one of the hardest ones we've ever had. I'm gonna sell it. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it. Look, when you look back at last year, the one thing that's constant was wrestling. They kept going when no one else did. So kudos to the companies that did. Now, some of the smaller ones couldn't. And, the indies obviously couldn't because they live and die with the fans. They have to have fans in the building. So a lot of the athletes that work for a lot of those companies just couldn't do much of anything. And that's where, those places really got hurt. And you're starting to see them finally, a lot of them are coming back, which is great to see. Great to see that they made it out of it. But some people are saying Impact. Some people are saying Ring of Honor. You got to see them excel in situations that were not ideal. Some companies took it and ran with it. Some companies, like Jeff was talking earlier about Impact, and one of the things that they do is their storylines from week to week to week. And some people kind of fell a little flat, Raw, and did not succeed as well. But I think what this says is, I think this goes to show you who's got strong people backstage as well. This goes to show you who's got some strong people in creative and who's got some strong people doing the things behind the scenes, because they're the ones that are going to shine when there are no fans in the building to let people know whether or not they love you or whether or not they hate you. And that makes it easier. Everyone I've heard during this pandemic, when I listened to wrestlers talking, that was one of the biggest things they said, was that these companies rely on their fans at these live events to carry on storylines. Because if they boo the crap out of something, they're not going to continue to go with it because they realize the fans think this sucks. And they're not going to go with it. So, but I do think that some, for the most part, I think that it benefited promotions. Now, some of them were hurt by it. Conrad brings up AEW. Well, they're brand new. So, yeah, are they going to get taken off their game? Sure, because they have to get a fan base behind them and go forward and benefit from fans. New Japan is another one of those kind of companies too that has to have the fans there, and when you don't, it's just not the same. But I think for the most part, And even if you talk with New Japan and what they're doing now with other companies, maybe that wouldn't be happening. That may not be happening at all. You may not see guys from New Japan coming to Impact or going to AEW. You may not see this whole thing with Kenny that we're seeing now happening at all. That may never have happened. So in that respect, that's why I'm going with a sell on it, because I think in that respect, I think we got some things that we never would have seen before. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Up until about 30 seconds ago, I was going to no-sell this.
Okay.
But I'm going to sell it. I love it. And, I mean, a lot of the points that you made were good. It did benefit the majority of companies. But the companies that it hurt really, really bad.
Badly, yeah.
I'll say this because I don't want to belabor it, because you brought up some great points. I think in some ways it made WWE lazy, because I think when you have to hear the live reaction, it holds you accountable from a creative standpoint. And I think there was a switch that flipped at some point for WWE, where it's just like, you know what, we'll just put this out there, and the excuse became until fans come back. Okay, well, guess what? Fans are coming back now. I'm glad to see. Yeah, no more excuses. I'm glad to see that the programs have gotten better, but no more excuses. Let's not hear the whole until fans come back, because now if you have a crappy show, what's the excuse going to be?
Yep.
You know, like, what's the excuse going to be? So, I mean, honestly, the big winners in this for me, definitely Impact.
Yeah, oh yeah.
For sure. Impact. Conrad brings up a good point. He says, I say it benefited WWE because I think they realized change is needed in the product. Yes, it is needed, but I wish they would have done some of that ahead of time.
Yep.
And not waited until things got so bad in some cases that it's like, okay, well, crap, we got to change. Like, no shit, you got to change, you know? I mean, you should have done it already. But I think it was an eye-opener, and I want people to realize this. A lot of other sports went by the wayside. A lot of other professional sports either shortened their seasons, didn't have them at all, or what we got was so distant from what we normally see from those sports. So I got to give props to all the wrestling companies that did the best that they could. And honestly, we got some of the best matches out of this era that were cinematic matches. I mean, think about it.
Oh, yeah.
The Boneyard match.
Yeah.
Had it not been for the pandemic,
probably wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened that way.
Nope.
And maybe Taker is still searching for that last match that satisfies him. Yep, but with the way that was done, I mean, brilliant. So,
yeah. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. We did. We got some things that, like Jeff said, things that we will never see. More than likely never see again. Cinematic matches might be done. We may never see another one. People say, well, they might dabble in it, but probably not. They're expensive to make, and they're not going to have fans sit there and watch a movie in an arena. So that may be the last time we ever see that. So, yeah, no, I agree. Great points. All right, what is next?
All right, this is going to stir some people up real quick. There's too much wrestling content available for fans. Selling those. I must have been like in a mood when we were going over these. I don't know.
I know James Chadwick would probably have a bone to pick with us about this topic.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's too much. Well, I know how I can answer for me. I mean, listen, there's just too much for me to watch. I just don't have the time. I don't know how people like James do it. But there's too much wrestling content available for fans. No, I'm going to no sell it. Yeah, I'm going to no sell it, and I'm going to no sell it for the reason because I think that right now is such a great time to be a wrestling fan because you have so many choices to make. Listen, yes, the indies have always been there, but they're not as readily available. If you're not living in a city or a larger area, you can't always get to those matches. So for people in the rural areas that don't have the big places for these people to go, it's not as easy to go and see. So the fact that you have a lot of choices, yes, it can be really difficult if you want to watch it all, for sure, and I can. But I think what this does is I think it allows people to, maybe notice that there's other things out there. If something is really upsetting them, if your favorite promotion, whatever that may be, is kind of like falling flat for you, maybe you're not going to ditch it, but maybe for 1 week you could say, hey, you know what? Let me check out this MLW show, or let me check out this Ring of Honor show, or let me check out Impact, or whatever the case might be, and you give something else a shot. And then maybe what you realize is that maybe you realize that you really enjoy it and you kind of like it, and you start watching something new. So I don't think there's too much. Like I said, it's a kind of a twofold answer because I think there's too much to watch. If you're a big fan of all wrestling and you want to get it and take it all in, that I agree with. But is there actually too much content? I don't think so, because I think that it's good for people to have choices. It's good for younger fans. I mean, hey, when we were younger, back in the Stone Age, you didn't have much choice. Whatever your local cable company carried was what you watched.
Right.
I couldn't watch NWA. We were up here in the north, and we couldn't get it. You couldn't see it. So all I was able to see at that time was WWE and, some other, smaller things that were going on, but that's all I could really get. So I didn't have a choice. That's what I had to watch if I like wrestling. Until, of course, the cable companies expanded and, they started hooking up these little things called wires when they made wires and stuff like that, when the Stone Age stopped and they started making better things. But anyway, so yes, that's why I would say no to the question, because I think for fans, it's a good thing. Go ahead, Jeff.
This one for me is very difficult. Oh, goodness, this is tough. I guess I'm going to go no sell.
Okay.
Because I think it's good to have options. Which is, I mean, if you're a wrestling fan right now, and we say this all the time, if you're a professional wrestling fan and you're saying, well, this sucks and that sucks, there's just nothing out there for me. Yep. That is a you problem. That's not a wrestling problem. You need to look in the mirror. Having said that, though, I think sometimes companies can overdo it. Case in point, and I know at some point somebody's going to send me a DM telling me I hate AEW. I just know. Like I already know. Even though I profess my love for it and I praise it a lot, somebody's going to send me a DM saying that I hate it. I just don't think if you're AEW, you need AEW Dark, AEW Dark Elevation, Rampage, and Dynamite.
Yeah.
I don't think you need all of that. If you're WWE, I don't think you need 205 Live.
Right.
Main event, Raw, Smackdown. Like, utilize the time better. If it's something that you use that as a way to get more people more TV time, okay, cool. But how about make that an hour of Raw and showcase some of the talent that doesn't get. I mean, you could take main event essentially and 205 live and make that the first hour of Raw to really get it hot. Have some great matches. Like you could do that. I just don't think you need like 7 different shows every single week, because Rusty said this earlier. Too much of something, you get oversaturated, and then you get burnt out on it. And as a wrestling fan, I'll be honest with you, there are some times where it's like, you know what, screw it. I need to take a break from wrestling. These days, I need to like decompress, not watch wrestling. I need to, do something else, because I mean, I don't know. I just think that I don't think you need that much. But I love wrestling. I'm watching it a lot, obviously for the show and everything. So I mean, I think we're in a good place in terms of wrestling. I do. There's so many choices out there. But if you're a company like WWE, especially with a 3-hour Raw, let's think about how to utilize that first hour and really think about this. Think about them focusing that first hour on doing those main event type matches. You get like Mustafa Ali and Ricochet and some of those things that you've had on main event that not enough people are seeing, and they're freaking brilliant. And you put that on the first hour of Raw. You put some of the 205 live matches on the first hour of Raw and really open up hot. Now you got a hot crowd. Now you got a really hot crowd going into your last 2 hours. And then what you can do, in my opinion, is just go in and really focus on the storylines that are your main storylines at that point. Just a suggestion, just my thought. I'm just me. I'm not anybody important, but I think that would be, that'd be cool. But just me.
Agreed. Yeah. Warren says main event is just the highlight of Raw anyway, other than have Cross fighting on it against unused talent. Conrad says I miss 1 hour NXT and NWA. 1 hour shows are nice.
They're good. Yeah.
Yeah. Very compact. I used to watch a lot of 1 hour wrestling shows on Saturday morning wrestling back when I was a kid. They get right to the point. You have maybe they squeeze in 4 matches, and then they got some promos and stuff in between. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, all great points. And I think either way you guys look at it. But yeah, Big Dan said last night instead of SmackDown, I rewatched Independence Day. I needed a break. Listen, it's good to decompress.
Good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, last night I watched that horror movie that I talked about. It's good to get away, because you can't let it be your be all and end all. Like I said, God bless people like James that just love it and just watch. But even James now, I think, is watching football. Oops.
Yeah.
As well. So yeah, it's good to decompress and stuff like that sometimes and just get away from it, because especially if you're on social media and stuff a lot with it too, it can get you down. It really can. So, all right. We have got what to watch for coming up next.
This is real quick. We did this last week. Watch all the shows.
Yeah. I mean, obviously no big pay-per-views or anything coming up this week. But I mean, you do have the Great American Bash on NXT, which should be fun. There's some good stuff lined up for that. So that should be really cool to watch. Of course, don't forget Tazzy will have that on his channel, so go over and check that out on Tuesday night. But yeah, everything's back in order. There's no more basketball playoffs that are messing stuff up. AEW's back on Wednesdays. All the shows that you like are back on when they're on. Listen, there's storylines going that a lot of people are all about watching and all about seeing what is coming up next. The Bucks are about to win. Oh, okay. All right. Atlanta's going down, huh? Bucks and the Suns. Interesting matchup. Interesting matchup. We'll see if Giannis gets back. If not, I don't know. It might be the Suns here. We'll see. We shall see.
The last time that the Bucks were in the finals was that when one Lou Alcindor.
Cinder played. Yes, that was a long time ago.
And if you don't know who Lou Alcindor is, if you're younger, Google it, and it'll blow your mind.
Look it up.
But you know what, Joe? I was just about to say this too. They might not even know who Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is.
Oh, you are right. That is
So
very true.
maybe it won't blow their minds. I don't know.
That is very true. Azan's asking about a preview for what's he want to preview for?
Ring of Honor has Best in the World next Sunday. So
There you go.
so yeah, we'll do what to watch for that next next
Talk about
Saturday.
that next Saturday. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. We have next, I believe, we are going to our new segment. Well, it's not so new anymore. We've done it a little bit. This is our Book a Wrestler segment. So we are going to, and you guys can shout out along in the chat how you would go about doing this. But Jeff, who is our Book a Wrestler for this week?
So it was very interesting that this past week we had a title change on NXT.
Yeah.
Which might indicate that the former champion may be headed to Raw or SmackDown. So with that in mind, and I got to shout out Conrad again for this because we talked about it during our Impact stream, Bronson Reed.
So we are going to book Bronson Reed. Now, again, yes, the news is that now, he lost the title. So he's been on main event. So he's probably going to leave NXT very, very soon. We'll see when he gets called up or how soon it will be. I mean, it could be as soon as after the next pay-per-view. It could be a SummerSlam call-up. But where, how would you book Bronson Reed on the main roster? So the way I would do this, first of all, I look at, again, which shows need, if you're going to bring some people up from NXT, and this is how you're going to kind of try to energize some of these shows, the show that needs the most energy right now is obviously Raw. No question about it. Raw needs some energy. So this guy can come in. He could bring that energy. Now, I would say to probably start him out. You can have this guy work probably as either a heel or face. I would book him as a face, though, and I would bring him in. And I think when we were talking or discussing about this, I know Jeff had mentioned, throw him. You could put this guy almost right into a title scene. I'm going to look at it from this perspective. I think that, Raw needs help in a lot of places. Now, if they're finally done with the McIntyre story with Bobby Lashley, and we don't get anyone else that kind of sneaks into the picture from outside. So if we don't get Brock Lesnar, if we don't get someone else to kind of push themselves into that, I don't know. Maybe come up with one of those things where Sonya and Adam come out, and I don't know. Maybe they make a triple threat match. For a number one contender type of thing. And maybe that's what you have going on. I don't know. I put Bronson right into that because listen, he's a big dude. He's got kind of that Keith Lee type size. Remember Keith Lee, by the way, WWE. Let's not forget about Keith Lee. But he's got that kind of a size to him. He's very agile in the ring. And he's got a great personality as well and could really do some great promos. So I would bring him right in, and I would have him be in a contender spot for that. Now, I don't think he would win it right off the bat, but I'd have him come. Listen, we had a hot start like that when Keith Lee came up. We kind of had a hot start like that for Riddle when he came up as well. So I would inject him right into that, and then whoever happens to be the other person in that triple threat, have Bronson start a feud with, and that could be the guy. And maybe he might need somebody like a Randy Orton, maybe some vet, somebody like that. Jeff, you might have mentioned. I think you mentioned Jeff Hardy. I don't want to steal your thunder. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, when we were talking about it, Jeff mentioned somebody like Jeff Hardy. I think that's a great somebody like that, a wrestler who's been in WWE for a little while, to kind of boost Bronson Reed up a little bit, get him a good heel to combat that face. And I think that's where you get him started, just the same way that you started those other two athletes from NXT. And listen, I think it works out. I think he would be a great fan favorite. And I think Bronson could really, whether it's probably wouldn't be for the men's title right away, but he could get himself. I don't want to see him getting stuck into just like a tag team situation or something like that. Right. He could be in, for the U.S. title or something along those lines. But that's where I'd like to see him end up, would be on Monday Night Raw in that aspect. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. I would put him on Raw. Honestly, I think short term, I think he needs to be in. Azan just said it. I said it on Thursday. The eventual goal for the short term is to put the U.S. title on him. That's what I would do. How you get there? I said Jeff Hardy before. I still think that would be an interesting matchup. Honestly, I would also do someone like an Elias or someone like some Jackson Riker. Different people who are kind of polarizing, but give this guy an opportunity to really go over and build up, his star on the main roster, and eventually have him go up against Sheamus for that title. And then from there, we see what happens. I mean, I'd love to see him and Keith Lee battle whenever they bring back Keith Lee.
Yep.
I'd love to see him go up against T-Bar or Mace, in singles action. So many different directions that they could go in. But I think much like Keith Lee, and I hope that they have learned from their mistakes with Keith Lee, because I do feel like they made some mistakes with him. But I feel like I hope that they learn from those mistakes and really bring this guy in and elevate him. And I mean, we know at some point Cross is going to come in too. But yes. I mean, let's do some, let's shift some things up. And there's opportunities too, especially with the rumored draft coming up. I'd love to see Bronson and KO go after it. Like I just would. That would be, for me, that would be a fire program there. So, but yeah, that's what I would do. I would put him into that U.S. title picture, and and see what he does with it. Yeah,
that's a great call. Would love to see that as well. Some people are shouting some stuff out. Sonny says Bronson versus Morrison. Okay, all right, I'd be all right with that. Yeah. Bronson versus Drew, says Sonny. Yeah, Drew might need somebody to go up against as well. Bronson versus Keith Lee, says Hayden Garrett. Shinsuke. Shinsuke's going to need somebody to. That'd be cool.
Joe, I just thought about something with Drew.
Okay.
The way that you could do this is you could bring in Bronson and have him feud with Drew and have Drew lose and go down this spiral.
Oh, okay.
Of like just go down this rabbit hole of him losing.
Yep.
And he's gotta find a way to get back.
Yep.
And I feel like that would be, I would like to see Drew kind of go down that path and see what they come up with for him.
Drew's been a great heel in the past too, so if they want to change him, they certainly can. So okay, absolutely. Let's see what else people are saying here. Bronson versus Lashley, says Alicia. Let's see, Reed versus Sheamus for US, says Azan. Bronson versus Jeff Hardy. Bronson versus Big E. Bronson versus Jeff Hardy. Another one. Bronson versus AJ Styles. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think a lot of you agree, though, that he should probably be on Raw. But yeah, I would definitely agree to that. I think they need more people up there. So, and keep an eye on Cross, because It looks as if, listen, if it pains me to say this because I love what Karrion Kross is doing in NXT, but he was fast-tracked. We all know that. And if they have turned Johnny Gargano all of a sudden into a face, you might see the end of Karrion Kross's title run coming up.
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Just saying. Just saying.
Yep.
Okay. All right, moving on. I think we're going to our favorite moments.
That's right. Favorite moments of the week, man.
Those of you in the chat, shout them out. Let us know what your favorite moments of this past week in wrestling were. And we are going to start out with Jeff's number 3.
Man, my number 3 moment of the week. I don't have to go back that far. I can just go back to last night. And that's seeing Zelina Vega show back up and wrestle in a match and cut a promo. I'm glad to see her back. Hopefully her husband will return soon. But I was really happy to see her back last night.
Absolutely. I'm probably going to have to end up dedicating this favorites spot, designate one spot every week for Rosemary, just because. But the whole I keep seeing new things out of her all the time, which I absolutely love. You guys know I love Rosemary. But my number 3, of course, when Scott D'Amore was out in the hallway and produced that little card out of his pocket, and poof, there's Rosemary and Havoc. Coming in and talking to Scott D'Amore about getting a possible title shot with Fire and Flava. So, I dig it. I love the whole thing. I love how they do that. I love when you see the promos on Impact, and I love the possible matchup that's coming up between those two. And I could certainly see that maybe Rosemary and Havoc will be the ones that may dethrone Fire and Flava going forward. So give me Rosemary anytime, and I'm good to go. So that's my number 3. Jeff, what's your number 2?
My number 2 moment of the week. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, kind of gave a tease for this, but WWE for 2 weeks now, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, every single one have been great, in my opinion. We criticize when it's necessary. We praise when it's necessary, and they are deserving of praise at this point. So that's my number 2. WWE really ramping up their shows and improving over the last couple weeks.
My number 2 is I'm going to give it a tie. And what I'm going to say is favorite moments were 2 matches, and both of them were AEW. Jungle Boy in his title shot in Kenny, and MJF versus Sammy Guevara. And the reason why I'm going with this is because they are highlighting their future. They are bringing up the people that they want to be the future of that company. And they're doing it by giving them spotlights. The match with Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega was absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fantastic. To the point of where, you looked out into that crowd and you had Jungle Boy's, I think his parents were there. They had tears in their eyes. And again, kudos to Kenny for, no, he did not take the title off of him, but there wasn't a moment during that match where you didn't think he belonged in that ring with him. And there wasn't a moment in that match where you didn't think that he could have won that match. So kudos to Kenny for doing that. They're raising up their talent, and this is what I like to see. MJF, and you could fight me on this, but MJF is honestly one of the best, if not the best, heel in the wrestling business. And you might hate me for it, and that's fine. But the guy is good at what he does. He will make you hate his guts. And this guy lives it. He absolutely lives this role. And listen, he's kind of a throwback in that respect. You don't see that much anymore. And, when we talk to some of the wrestlers we talked to early on in our show, they will tell us that they lived that. Everywhere they went, 24/7, they lived that. And I could totally see MJF doing it. But they are pushing up their talent to what they want their future to be, along with some other guys on that show, like Ethan Page, like Darby Allin. That's the guys that are getting the spotlight. So kudos to them. That's what we want to see from them. That's what we kind of thought we weren't going to see when they started bringing this older talent in there. And, are they going to take up the spots now that these other guys should get? Well, that's obviously not happening. So good for them. That's my number 2. All right, Jeff. Let me see what some people are saying in the thing here. Riddle pretending to be Randy Orton. Cameron Grimes on NXT. Yep. Alexa Bliss, a gamer 0809, likes the funny stuff. There you go. Alexa Bliss kicking Reginald in the nuts. Yes. Zelina Vega's return. Cross making Johnny Gargano go to sleep. Warren says Rosemary rocks. I agree. The Man and Messiah wedding. There you go. Zelina kicking Meltzer into pills with her WWE return. Alexa's shenanigans on Monday night. My favorite of the week is Zelina Vega returns and Samoa Joe on NXT. Omega versus Jungle Boy. Impact's consistency on a whole. And MJF Sammy Guevara. Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Let's see. Jessie says she's got 8 or 9 jokes. Oh boy. Jessie's got a lot of jokes. Let's see if I'm missing anybody. I want to get some of these out there. My not favorite moment of the week is Joe and his mask. Yes, thank you, Alicia. It's not a favorite of mine.
No, it's her number 1.
Oh, your number 1. Oh, I thought you said my not. I'm sorry.
No, that's her favorite moment of the week.
Well, you know what? Thank you for that. I'm very glad I can make your week with my lousy ass mask, but I'm very glad. And I did see Wrestling's post, by the way. And I gave it some sad Fiend emoji faces.
There you go. There you go.
There you are. All right, Jeff, what was your number 1?
Oh man, my number 1 for this week. Not just saying this because this person was on our show, but seeing Holiday on AEW Dark. That was awesome. That was awesome. If you follow her, if you've spoken to her, you know how hard she works. You know how much she loves this business. So seeing her achieve that, having other people finally get to see her on a larger scale, I was so happy for her. So happy to see her there. I don't really know. I'm kind of sad that they threw her right to Nyla Rose, but you know what? She's on AEW television. We kind of anticipated it with her relationship with Thunder Rosa. We kind of anticipated it, but seeing it happen, I will be honest with you, and I don't get like this very often when it comes to wrestling and moments like this. It honestly choked me up.
Yep.
Because I know how hard she's worked to be seen. And I know she said on our show it wasn't about being, like on TV. It's about doing what she's doing and earning a living. But I just want other people to get to see her and how great she is. And people got a chance to see that. So, yeah, that's my number 1 for the week.
Yeah, that's a fantastic moment. Absolutely. We are big fans of hers. She came on our show when we were very young into this, and she really didn't have to. And she, she's not one that really enjoys doing a lot of stuff like that with interviews. Right. So we'll always be grateful for her being on. And she was a blast to talk to. So absolutely. The sky's the limit for her. And we will always be watching her career with interest. My number 1. Liv freaking Morgan. Look, and I could easily say Zelina Vega, of course, and Zelina was such a big moment for her coming back, but I think she's got a lot of things ahead of her. There's no doubt that that Zelina will be involved with many big angles that are coming up. But look, I think everyone kind of thought when the tag team broke up, and, everybody kind of thought, what are they going to do with Liv? Liv does have a very big fan following. There's no question. But they kind of were wondering does this leave her now? And listen, I'm sure a lot of people were probably wondering, is she going to be one of the cuts? People were probably kind of nervous about that. Is she going to be one of the people that are going to get let go? Well, it looks as if that WWE is finally getting her in a storyline that is doing her justice. She's coming out. We're getting behind her. And I absolutely love what they are doing with Liv Morgan, and I'm all for it. I want to see her finally get her due in the singles spotlight, and I would love nothing better than to see her win that Money in the Bank and see what she would do with it. So let's go Liv, and I think it's about time. So, all right, there is my number one of the week. There are our favorite moments of the week. Thank you guys who shouted yours out as well. C's busting Jesse about her 8 jokes. My moments, Jesse's here. Alexa kicking Nia in the leg and then Reginald in the goodies. Seth and Becky got married. Cross knocking out Gargano. And bonus, Cross following me on Twitter and Instagram. Yes, Jesse got a follow because of the artwork that did, which is very cool, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on her page. Jessie is an artist, very good at what she does, and drew a very cool picture of Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and both of them liked it, and then she got a follow from Karrion Kross as well. So very, 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 very cool. Very, very, very cool. All right. So that is that. And we are now at the part of the show where Jesse can start to warm up, and we're going to get prepared by doing the lighter side of the ring. Jeff, did you have that special thing that you wanted to show? When do you want to put that up?
Let's do that after this.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's do that after this.
We have a announcement for you guys. So lighter side of the ring is coming up. So Jesse's getting ready, and before she does, we always like to bring up a wrestler who may bring that lighter side to the ring for us. We saw R-Truth back, Jeff, on Monday night, which was cool. We got the 24/7 title going back on again, and that. Hey, listen, that's a good thing for that show. I think they need that, and I think they should have that on there a lot because I think it's great. Yeah. So, but this week we are talking about the man with the cobra, Santino Marella. Oh man, Jeff, this guy again. So many things he would come out, even the way that he would use that cobra and do the motions with his arm and stuff like that. Oh my God, this guy again. We like to talk about wrestlers like this during this segment that have that gift to make people laugh, and man, this guy had it. And sometimes these kind of characters, we talked about Shark Boy last week. These kind of characters are good for wrestling because it brings the laughter into the shows and allows you to have that little bit of comedy. And man, dude, Santino had it, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I love the guy. Love the guy. Azan bringing up his debut, great debut.
It was
being called out. From the crowd, that was awesome. I got to show this too while we're here. I went a little overboard, but
oh no!
Just look at that.
Yep,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh
so
God, his entrance to the ring.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I love Santino. He was funny. One of the greatest moments for me is seeing JTG sell the Cobra Strike.
Yes.
And everyone's seen it before, but seeing JTG sell the Cobra Strike where he just like stiffens up and starts convulsing, and yeah, I love that. I know that's more about JTG, but if you didn't have the Cobra come out, you wouldn't have had that moment. So yeah, that's Santino.
Didn't he march right out with that entrance to a Royal Rumble match, and then he went into the ring, and then he marched right back out the other side because they lost him right out?
Yep. Yep.
That's what I mean. Like, see, and you're in one of the biggest matches of the year in the Royal Rumble, and yeah, that's just fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So, all right, Jesse, we warmed it up for you. Are you ready to rock? Jesse said she's got a lot of jokes, but she doesn't know if any of them are funny. Fun fact: the last name of Morella was a tribute to Gorilla Monsoon. His real name is Robert Morella. All right, cool. There you go. Little fact stuff from Big Dan. Santino beat Umaga. Remember Umaga? Yep. Umaga. Yes. Yeah. Yes. What about the change in Otis? Says Alicia. Yeah, Otis is getting a little nasty. Yeah, Otis is getting a little bit nasty. Yeah. Yes, he is. And there go the fireworks outside my house. Woo! They're really going down. They're nice and quiet.
Yeah, I got them going on over here too.
Good Lord. Do people not know that 4th of July is one day, a week, or one day? It's not the 3rd. It's not the 2nd. It's not the 1st. It's not the 5th. It's the 4th. I don't get it. Anyway, okay, here's our news. Yes, Jeff put this out on Twitter that we had an announcement. So those of you who are waiting.
Hold on. Yeah.
Drum roll. Hey! Look at that.
Hey!
Much love to Conrad, who talked to us a little bit about this kind of thing. And listen, you guys have asked us for this kind of stuff too. So we're getting back into the merch thing. So we have a new t-shirt, of course, with our new and improved logo on there. And there is an Abby shirt also called Abby Mania that's been approved by our own Abby, Jody Gilly herself. So this is just probably going to be the start of the kind of the tip of the iceberg type of thing here. So we have some shirts available. And Jeff, tell everybody where they can go and check it out.
Yes, so we will get some information out to all of you on when these things will be available. There are going to be a lot of different options. We have a saying that we like to say on this show: shenanigans. I will go ahead and tell you, there's a design for a shirt for shenanigans.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so getting really, really creative with these, but yeah, we will let you all know when we put this out. It'll probably be within the next week that we'll roll this out, and it won't just be t-shirts, it'll be all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I mean, thank you all for rocking with us. Thank you all for for asking. I mean, you all have been asking, and I don't want to say anything too bad, but our last venture with this, we did the best that we could. I just don't think that that same energy was kept on the other end, and I'll leave it at that. But this is onward and upward. We're gonna do this thing the right way. And thank you guys, and we'll be letting you know real soon where you can purchase this merch.
You will not, I can tell you this, you will not get my face with the Fiend mask on any of this merchandise. You will not. You will not get that. You guys can make bank selling shitty masks. Rusty just pops it up there right as I said it.
That's true. I mean, hey. Yeah. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have my 3-year-old help me design some masks, and we'll put
them on. He'd probably make a better one than what I got.
Yeah, she'll do a much better job. She'll do a much better job than what you got, buddy.
I have no doubt. But yes, so there you go. We're gonna start doing merch. I might need a Segway cup, like a Segway mug. I love the word Segway. I mean, a Segway cup or shirt.
There
you go.
That is possible. That is
there
possible.
All right. There you go. Cool. Rusty says, I'll take one. All right, Jesse, you're up. So it is all you. Jesse Calynn, comedy time. And, of course, C Wrestling up in the balcony, getting warmed up to heckle Jesse Calynn as well. So here we go. We're just about at the end of the show tonight. And while Jesse is getting ready, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Put a like up on the stream tonight. We'd really appreciate that. Share it if you know someone who may like to come over. And I don't know, maybe they'd like to come and watch Impact for the first time. Anything like that. Share the stream with them. Let them know that we're out there as an alternative for them if they have maybe watched other shows and weren't really too into it. And also, if you would, set your notifications as well so you will know when we have content coming. So, and then, of course, up next for us will be on Monday night, and Abby's window will take over. And I promise I will not pop into Abby's with that ugly ass mask on. So you will not have to deal with that.
First joke is up there.
All right, joke number one. I heard a joke about chocolate bars, and it wasn't that funny, so I just snickered.
That's good stuff.
That's good. That's a good roll out of the gate. All right, that's good. That's good. Butterspark says, "Oh, no Fiend mask on the tee. Sad." Well, number one, I'd get sued, and we wouldn't want to do that. So, I mean, yeah.
Will Jack Effect, to answer your question, he says, where did you hire the models? The wonderful world of Photoshop.
There you go.
Photoshop is a beautiful thing.
They are Photoshop models. That shirt will look sweet with my collection of lucha masks on. There you go. The crew. Very cool. Number two, here we go. Why did the blind man fall down the well? He couldn't see that well. Oh, here comes C. He said, "You just snickered. Man. Couldn't you at least hold a conversation with the poor person? You must know what it's like to be telling a bad joke." Here we go. Here we go. C was different last week. Like C started out being a face and then turned heel at the last second.
He went Hogan on us, man. He went Hogan.
He did. What did he call a shoe made out of a banana? A slipper.
Oh.
What is the chef's favorite wrestling move? The Arta choke. Okay. What did Hulk Hogan ask in arts and crafts class? What you gonna glue, brother?
That's good.
That's clever. That's clever.
Everybody.
Jesse hashtag canceled. Oh my god.
Oh
my god. Oh, Conrad, nice one. Yes. All right, here's number 3. Today I learned humans eat more bananas than monkeys. Makes sense, because I can't remember the last time I ate a monkey. Oh, you won't get sued because the master receiver was so different from the actual one. That you know what? That's true. That's true. You might be right, Butterspark. You might have a point. You might have a point. Oh my God! All right. Jesse, they like that one so much you can hear them blasting fireworks off outside my house because of it. My aunt is so relevant. We call her Auntie Matter. That's good. That was good. C says, isn't that a sign of cannibalism considering we're all apes? Not really a joking matter. That is a Statler and Waldorf comment. Right? That is a Muppets Statler and Waldorf comment right there.
And I will say that I was going to do it this week, but next week we will be debuting that new graphic. So
there you go. C's going to be in the balcony. All right, number 4. I was very lonely, so I bought some shares. It's nice to have a bit of company. Oh, boy. Oh man. Jericho Hurricane and Matt Hardy are in the same car. Who will drive? Police officer. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Big Dan says, how did Hannibal Lecter get heartburn?
Oh boy. Tell us.
I don't know. C says you bought. Do you know how much you regularly moan about money, Jesse? Be realistic, please. Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
This is great stuff. This is great stuff. It's like going to a comedy show and having a heckler.
I know.
Rusty says, new graphic, yes. Hassan says, why is Bailey so gangsta? A, because she chose the hug life. How did Hannibal Lecter get heartburn? He ate a fryer. Wow, now everybody's getting in on it. What does the Fiend use to see? Alexa Bliss. I like that one, Jesse, says Rusty. So there you go. Somebody likes your jokes, Jesse. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Here's number 5. Kid. But Mom, I don't want to see Grandma. Mom, shut up and keep digging.
Oh,
My
wow.
God, Jesse's going for
Wow.
that's one out of like the truly tasteless joke books that they used to have. That's like a mommy. That's almost like a mommy joke. You remember the old mommy jokes? Yeah, that's almost like
That
mommy.
one?
I remember one is a mommy. What was it? Mommy, I hate spaghetti, and then mommy says, "Shut up, or I'll cut the veins out of your other leg," or something like that. Yeah, like that's what that reminded me of, was the mommy jokes.
Oh, my God. That's
They were in truly tasteless joke books. Yeah. This is such good shit, says Will Jack. The grandma has been murdered. Yes, Sonny. Yes. C says, wow, grave robbing now. What is it with the illegal activity? Someone start the investigation, please. Rusty says, wow, that's morbid. Sonny says, sound of police. Yes. What did CM Punk tell Adam Copeland when he tried to feel him up? I'm straight edge. Jeez.
Jesus.
Wow. All right. Little T has got his popcorn ready, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Come on, Jesse.
Get the
You got
pop.
a few more, I'm sure. We've suddenly come to a halt.
Yeah, she said she's got like 8 or 9,
Hey, you
right?
said you got 8 or 9, or are you done? She might have been taken aback by, oh, here we go. Here comes number 6. Truly tasteless jokes. Those books were they had the baby jokes, the dead baby jokes and stuff in those.
God,
Yeah, they were bad. Number 6. Hey, today was great. What happened? I ran into my ex today. What's so great about that? I was in my car. Wow. C Wrestling says illegal activity again. Sonny says, oh my God. Hayden's laughing. See, you've got some people laughing. I mean, you're doing pretty much everything a comedian would want to do. You got some people laughing. You got some people shocked. And then you have a heckler. So, you may have a future in this, Jesse. You may have a future in comedy. What do you call a wrestler in ecstasy? Little Miss Bliss. Dot source.
Good Lord.
C, call the cops. C, call the cops, says Sonny. Yeah. Somebody might have to get Jesse arrested. Oh, well, we're at 6. Waiting for 7. Will Jax is laughing, LOL. Thank you guys all, by the way, while we're waiting for the next one, for joining us. Really, really, really appreciate it. We hope you had fun on this New Year's, Joe. 4th of July Eve. So we hope that you all had some fun tonight. As On says, I like dark humor. Calynn Corner is basically raw. Longer than you want, filled with so much potential, but ultimately disappoints every time. Wow. Butterspark says, ouch. Ouch. Big Dan, who is Michael Myers' favorite guitarist? Slash. Nice. Jesse says, yeah, I can't use one because YouTube won't let me use it, the right format for it to make sense. And the other one is kind of a fat joke, which I don't mind myself because I'm a porker, but eh. All right. Rusty says, anyone want a bag of dead batteries? They're free of charge. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, I think we're done. Thank you, Jesse, for that. Thank you, C. Thank you to everyone who took part and gave us some jokes to end our night off with a smile. Because, you know, like the Joker once said in Batman, if you got to go with a smile. So, yes. Thank you all for coming out. Really, really, really appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you had a good time. And we will hopefully see you for our next show, which will be, of course, Abby's Window on Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great 4th of July if you celebrate it. Be safe if you're going to do fireworks and stuff like that, especially this year because it's going to be crazy out there. But enjoy it. Spend some time with family because obviously, you know, we couldn't do this kind of stuff last year. So enjoy that as well. And hopefully we will see you all again for our next show. Have a great night, everybody. Have a great 4th. And hopefully we'll see you all soon. Good night, everybody.